Hello, this is Brad Swift, and I'm part of the Authors Collaborative Circles that are forming right as we speak. And today, this is the first in a series of videos that I intend to support other Authors Collaborative Circles in getting the very most out of their experience together. I'm going to be working today with a way that you could actually introduce yourselves at the very start of an Authors Collaborative Circle, which I will be referring to also as ACCs. So that's one of the ways you could use it. Or you could also share this video with people who will be joining your collaborative circles as a way to kind of getting them up to speed. So we'll be working today with a distinction, a coaching distinction, and I'll talk more about what a coaching distinction is in a moment. But I'll be working with one of the coaching distinctions that I've had the honor of working with for, close to 30 years. See, I've had the privilege to be in a combo career as an author, writer, and also as a life and business coach. So one of the things that I've learned during that almost 3 decades now, that a powerful, powerful tool of the coaching profession is what is known as coaching distinctions. Now, what is a coaching distinction? Well, here's the best way to kind of think about it. I normally wear glasses. I'm not wearing them right now because of my vanity. But see, I have glasses. And the truth of the matter is, what I can see out in front of me is much clearer when I'm wearing my glasses than without. So when I take them off, well, things are clear to a certain degree, but then they begin to get pretty fuzzy. Well, a coaching distinction is a little bit like that. When you try looking at a particular aspect of your life or your career or whatever, and you look at it through the coaching distinction, you will be able to see things about that aspect of your life that you might not be able to see without the coaching distinction. So these are very powerful tools that, they occur in language and they're creations. They're something that you make up. But again, then when you introduce those and you share them with other people, they can also get a lot of value out of them as well. So I'd like to offer an example of that. And again, this example is a coaching distinction that can be used in a number of different ways. You can use it as a way of introducing each other at the beginning of a ACC, or you can use it as a way to introduce a new person and get them kind of up to speed itself. Now, I call this the gap. Now, the gap is simply this. You want to identify 2 particular points in time. One is your current reality. Now, since we're talking about specifically about, writers, you want to look at what is specifically happening right now in regards to your writing career. And you want to get to the facts. How many books have you written, if you've written any? How well have they done? How many books did you sell? Are you making income as a writer? If so, how much? Facts. Get to the current state of affairs in regards to your writing career with a minimum amount of actual judgment or evaluation. You really just want to say, okay, here's where I'm at. I've been writing for X number of years. Over that period, I have written, Y number of books, of which, Z number have been published, and I've sold whatever number it is. So again, getting to the facts. So that's the starting point. As I like to refer to it, is your current reality. Then you want to go forward in time. And I'm not saying specifically what period of time, but look farther enough into the future that you can say, I've made some major headway. In fact, I would even say that I've had a real breakthrough in my career as a writer. And what would that look like? What would that visionary future look like itself? So again, you want to get as specific as possible. And you want to have it grounded in some reality. You don't want to be so pie in the sky that you can't really even, imagine it. You don't want it to be a pipe dream. You want it to be a serious dream, something that you'd be willing to commit to bringing forth into reality itself. So one of the useful ways of approaching this is to actually kind of metaphorically step into the future, in which point you are saying, and you can say authentically to yourself, I am now a successful author. Whatever that might look like for you, and how it looks for you might not be the same as it would look for me or for somebody else. So you want to be looking authentically for yourself. What would that future look like? By stepping into it and describing it and actually even writing about it. And here's one of the things that's kind of interesting. Write about it in the present tense, not like one day, someday, but like, okay, here I am, standing in this future as a successful author, in this case for science fiction and fantasy, which is what I write about, but it may not be what you write about. And I'm now being successful, and that's what it looks like. And this is what it feels like. And this is what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. And this is what is included in that new future itself. Now, obviously, what you now have is a gap. And it might be a fairly significant gap between what your current reality is and what your visionary reality is. And between those 2 points is what we describe as the gap. And it's also where the third component of this distinction occurs. And that is, along those 2 points, there are certain roadblocks and obstacles that you might need to face and confront and work through. And some of those are going to be real, and some of them are going to be, I would say, perceived obstacles. Now let me spend a moment to distinguish between the two. For example, a real obstacle would be, I simply don't know how to market my books effectively. So in the range of what you know and what you don't know you don't know how to market and sell your books. And in which case, you can learn that, right? And you can learn it, I'm suggesting, even more powerfully and effectively in a group setting like the ACC. So that's an actual, no kidding, obstacle that you can learn about and discover for yourself what works and then put it into play. The perceived obstacles, those are a little bit more difficult. I often like to refer to those as kind of the blind spots. Those are the things about yourself that you don't know, and you don't know that you don't know it, so it's hard to really even address them. And this is something that as the ACCs go along, you'll begin to hear and be able to identify for each other. And again, one of the reasons a group interaction can be so effective in helping people to discover what their blind spots are and then to be able to move beyond those as well. So again, remember, in this distinction, this coaching distinction called the gap, there's 3 components. Your current reality, which you want to get to as clearly as possible and write that out. Your visionary reality, which is what you're really committed to and how you are committing to grow in your writing career. And then the third component are the obstacles and roadblocks, both real and perceived. Okay, so your assignment is, if you're introducing each other in the beginning of an ACC, well then what there is to do is to simply introduce yourself by including in that introduction what your current reality is, and at least to begin to give an initial cut at what that visionary reality is. What is that dream, that realistic, stretch type, breakthrough dream that you would like to have happen out of your participation in an ACC? And then a further assignment could also be between the first session and the next session. to begin to look at what are those real obstacles, and to begin to at least imagine, like, what might be a blind spot, a perceived obstacle that I'm not even clear about. At least begin to engage in and speculate about what those might be as well. So that's basically what the gap is all about, and it's a powerful way, again, to either introduce each other in the beginning or to introduce through this video to new people that are coming on board of your ACC. My commitment as I guess you would say the originator and the founder of the Authors Collaborative Circles is to create a support structure, both through the website and through these training videos, to help support other independent authors of many different genres to bring a new level of integrity, communication, and collaboration. Together we can grow as authors, and we can make a bigger difference and a greater difference to our readers as well. So thank you for listening, and check in regularly at authorscollaborativecircles.com for more information and other training tools as well. Take care.